mid-1970s Sony Trinitron Part 3. Sound demodulation problem. I got a lot of good comments on Part 2. I always read all the comments. The consensus seemed to be two things. That this crust, you can see I cleaned it off in this area. This white crust is Japanese flux that they used when they wave soldered these boards, and probably because this was used in a very humid environment, possibly a workstation or a refuge station in a big underground mine that's very wet, or a lunchroom or something in the mine, that this caused this flux to turn into crust like this. The other comment was that possibly the capacitor in the quadrature coil went open, and I gotta say up front that these little small Japanese transformers, I've never seen one of those little tiny capacitors that's in the bottom of them go bad. They're lower voltage, they don't arc out like the bigger tube stuff. All the transistor radios and stuff I've worked on, I've never seen one of these little, and I don't know if we can see it from here, but one of these little, inside that can, one of these little tiny, like that right there, or this right here with the blue. I've never seen one of those style, the capacitors go bad. But hey, I'm open to anything. It sounds totally plausible. Anything can go bad. Never rule anything out, especially when this was used in this type of environment. So yeah, the symptom is no sound demod. So what we're going to do is we're just going to tack a trimmer across the bottom. I have, what is this one, 5 to 50, this is 8.5 to 120, and this is 6 to 70. This is the circuit. That right there inside T209 is the capacitor, that little undefined value. Now when we adjust the transformer, it makes a difference in the sound demodulation, but it's very possible that without the capacitor, if the capacitor was not there, it would never achieve the peak that it needs to on a specific frequency. And in the previous video, I did feed 4.5 megahertz right into the sound IF, and it demodulated it. Maybe one of the more frustrating things about the comments on these repair videos is when a bunch of people say, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? You know, insinuating that you're stupid for not taking this route, when they only watched 10 minutes of a 50-minute video, and you did that at 30 minutes in. So that gets kind of frustrating. We'll start with the 5 to 50. Gotta love that instant on. And that is a no-go. This is a 8.5 to 120. I can't see it being above 100 pico. I would think it'd be around 50 picofarads. No dice. So check this out. That is a sound input IF transformer into the chip. Watch this. If I put, and it was said that, you know, if this was off, that it would just, change the volume, but if I just stick this here, listen.
저택을 빌려 대규모 파티를 할 때 48시간 안에 물과 전기 공급을 중단하는 조치를 취했습니다. 반면 사우스다코타주는 평균 25만 명이 매년 모였던 대규모
I don't know what it's tuning in there, but it's not the picture.
예정이어서 대규모 감염이 우려됩니다. 마이크 펜스 부통령이 선거철 판결이 실망.
Is it getting an AM radio station? Actually, that was an invalid test. That was just my hand acting as an antenna.
사람의 고용은 쉽지 않을 것이란.
Ooh. So I got this one disconnected. With just this one connected. But that's with the volume all the way up.
This is the place. Good night, Lenny.
Okay, let me. That's sort of the best it's worked so far. Very quiet though. Now that's right now. The capacitor on the quad coil is disconnected and the capacitor on the input coil is connected. So that capacitor is connected. I wonder if maybe something is open here. See, you can, the coil or the capacitor will change it. But I wonder, let me try and put this coil about in the middle of the travel. Okay, that's about in the middle of its travel.
Check you later.
Man, that's the best it's behaved so far. Except the volume is all the way up. What is this, Charlie's Angels? This is Cozy TV. I mean, that's almost usable, but I would think this thing would be blaring loud. Let's try and get in here. Oh, that's not good.
Right, you drive that red tomato with the white stripe.
Red Torino.
Starsky and Saturdays on Cozy TV.
This is the 2020 Medicare Benefits Report brought to you by Easy Medicare. Did you know that you may be one of
9 million Americans qualify for more benefits this year. Many people are eligible for extra benefits, but
see, that seems like it has a pretty sharp peak.
Medicaid or Medicare, you may qualify for a dual enrollment plan, which could give you extra health care benefits like lower or $0 copays, lower or $0 premiums, plus benefits like vision.
The reason why it's doing this now is because you're getting text on the screen with the commercials.
Or transportation to the hospital or doctor's visits. If you have Medicaid or Medicare, you may be eligible for extra benefits, even if you are not 65. During these uncertain times, don't miss out on even one benefit. Call the Easy Medicare hotline for your free, no-obligation consultation. Call now, 800-231-9370.
I wonder if this has a volume built in and it's turned way down.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
Maybe I should get the real modulator and verify that. What if the TV's fixed and I'm struggling with a problem that doesn't exist?
Okay. Is everybody here?
Waiting, boss. Yeah, here, boss.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I'm at the blue plate dial.
I think that might be the problem, is the volume is turned way down on this.
And it's a funny thing.
I should be able to get that light to flash. I should be able to get this video.
Her boyfriend had just beaten her up and taken all her cash. How could she be feeling good? And that I can't figure out. Oh, when she left Cooperman, she was crying. I just met Cooperman.
Yeah, there we go. That's good video.
I don't know. Some doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe we'll get the answer in our next...
But you'll notice.
Okay, here's the remote, and it does have a volume, and it's got lovely leaking Duracell batteries in it. Okay, let's see here. Volume up. Oh, yeah.
What tangled webs we weave.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kelly, I'll run it through DB and get back to you. But until we know who he is, maybe you would be better off if you were watching him.
That's what I would expect. It is loud now. Okay, so it appears that it's the capacitor in the input sound IF transformer. See if it'll pick a 48 picofarads. So, and I think the key here is, like I said in the beginning, there's no real defined peak with this. Watch. See, there's no real defined peak with the coil. When I have the capacitor there, there's like a half a turn range with the coil that it's in. This I can turn the core from in to out. And the quad coil's not like that. So yeah, that would be indicative of an open capacitor in here. Am I going to pull this coil off and scrape the old capacitor out? No. I'm not going to risk damaging the coil. I'm going to keep this TV, and I know what's wrong with it, and I'll never forget this. So I'm going to I think I'm going to put a 50 across the bottom, a 50 picofarad. And if for some reason the cap inside there's 0 volts across this, but if it should ever close and it's way out of tune again, then I'll know what it is. Besides, according to some good comments, all these capacitors need to be changed. They leak, I guess, and I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that in the future. Okay, you have your choice. 47 picofarads at 10% or 51 picofarads at 5%. I think I'll go with the 51. This is without adjusting the coil.
Or have a weak urine stream. Myrbetriq may cause serious allergic reactions like swelling of the face, lips, throat or tongue, or trouble breathing. If experienced, stop taking and tell your doctor right away. Myrbetriq may interact with other medicines. Tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold or flu symptoms, sinus
Ooh, that sounds like some good stuff. Where could I get some of that? Now I should be able to bring this in. See how narrow of a peak I get there?
No. Too much.
Let me try and get a different channel with some text, modern content.
Doctrine to get me to heaven. It doesn't work that way. All right.
Okay, this is Sarah who wants to know is...
Okay, that's what we need, text.
Did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000?
No, I didn't.
If you don't-
Let him in, let him out, turn him out, ride him in, roll.
Yeah. Well, now the sound is fixed. There's something else going on with the TV.
Everyone is at risk for enamel loss. When you drink or eat something that's acidic, it sucks the minerals out of the tooth surface.
See that?
Enamel is formulated
But
to
the
help deliver minerals to the tooth surface.
sound is good
reharden
now.
and strengthen.
And you know, if you're a promoter, you're used to working in clubs, right?
Correct.
So you know how this is. You know how this
Okay, the shaky was those vertical linearity and size control. I just sprayed them with some contact cleaner and dialed them
something
in.
happens, of course.
Of course.
The property gets damaged.
Yes.
How did the property get damaged?
So the property was damaged. You know, it's like we said, it's a 100-degree day in Dallas in the middle of the summer. And I brought an assistant with me.
I adjusted the 4.5 megahertz sound trap here to get the noise, the sound noise beat pattern out of the screen, and I got an absolutely great picture now. I know it's too bright out here, but this is working very, very well now.
Powder usage and ovarian cancer date back as early 1971, and more recent
No
studies
buzzing.
in 2013 published in Cancer Prevention Research. Now, with regard to the
Even
ovarian
with
cancer
text,
risk,
no
a Harvard
buzzing. This is how I
researcher, Dr.
expect
Daniel
this to
Kramer,
work.
has estimated
And just as total confirmation that it was the capacitor across the sound IF input coil and not anything to do with my converter box or modulator, because we tested this in the second video, I think. This is over-the-air low-power channel 6. Let's listen to this.
Acércate a él porque él siempre te perdonará. Otra característica importantísima y trascendente de nuestro Padre Celestial.
And that's just with a clip lead for an antenna.
Confía, siempre. Confía en que al final.
I mean, it's blaring loud. It gets loud. It goes all the way up loud into clipping, so it's working right now. So that was the problem. The capacitor in the sound input IF, it comes, the signal comes out of C244 there, up into T208, and then into the DMOD IC. So it was the capacitor in that. So that's a new one for me. I don't think I've ever seen that, but this was in a pretty bad operating condition. So there it is, fixed. I almost dare say there's something wrong with the TV. We have a color picture here and I can't get the sound in. We have a decent color picture, but I cannot get sound.